Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Bernie here, and in this video I have 10 reasons why you should buy the Sony FX30 this year. And we are actually 6 months into the year, and I really think that the FX30 is still the one to get because of the following 10 reasons. So let's start off with the first reason, and why I think you should buy this camera this year is because of the downsampled 6K to 4K image quality. Yes, and the images you get out of this camera are amazing, particularly when filming in 4K 24 and 60p. For 4K 120 FPS though, the first few videos that I did, I wasn't really satisfied with the test result, and the Cine EI mode is new to me since this is my very first cinema camera ever, and it was my first time using the dual native ISOs, particularly the 800 and 2500 base ISOs. It was also my first time using the EI feature, or the exposure index, which has to be the same as the base ISO that you are using to get the best result as far as the suggestions online is concerned. But it isn't the case for me since I get more noise if I match the EI value to the base ISO that I'm currently using. I understand that you're still using the base ISO, either the 800 or 2500, no matter what, once either of the two is selected. The EI value only changes what you're seeing on the LCD screen. So what I do so it doesn't confuses me is that I just set my base ISO to either 800 or 2500 and forget about those and just concentrate on adjusting the EI value when necessary. And so far it works well for me, and I get cleaner images as a result. Alright, so let's say I'm using the 800 base ISO, and instead of using an 800 EI value, I use lower than that to achieve cleaner images, as you can see in this example. Alright, moving on now to number 2, it's the amazing autofocus. Enough said, this is the best camera that I have ever had when we are talking about the autofocusing feature. And this camera blew the Lumix GH6 out of the water. No question about it, and this is a game changer for me. Before, when I used the GH6 as my talking head video camera, I am most of the time losing focus, which is sad. But it isn't the case for me when using the FX30. Now I trust this camera more than ever, and it never skipped a beat. Always focuses on my face. Really amazing experience. And you know, another good thing about this is that you can easily use the tracking feature. Let's say you're filming a giraffe, like in this example, you can just track the head and the camera will do the rest. Another great feature is the rack focusing. By just tapping the LCD screen regarding the subject you want to set your focus on, you can easily do that. And for me, that's simply amazing. You can also have it set to human, which I always use. There's animal setting and bird as well. And now the number 3 reason why you should buy the FX30 is because of the very nice, the amazing form factor. Well, need I say more? Look at this thing, From the color to the body design, I would say it's well thought out. There are also 6 1/4-inch mounting holes that you can utilize using different accessories without needing a cage, which is a plus for me since I'm not into cages. And again, as I said that in other videos, with the exception, of course, of my Sony ZV-1, which is right there. Yeah, small rig cage, since it's necessary to use one, and that's for me to be able to mount it as my overhead cam. And another thing that I love about this camera is that the fan doesn't make it bulky compared to the GH6. You know, Sony was able to cram everything into this small body, and I'm a big fan of small gear. Small, but doesn't sacrifice quality. And in my opinion, Sony pulled it off with the body design and overall aesthetic of the FX30. You know, it feels great when you're holding it, and the weight is just right, in my opinion. Not too heavy or not too light either. Alright, moving on now to number 4. Is the 1.5 times crop of the FX30 since it's an APS-C camera. You know, maybe you're wondering why I included this, because it's actually helpful and I use it to my advantage. This is particularly helpful when you're far from the subject. And in this video example, we went to the zoo a few weeks ago and took some shots of the animals that were a bit far from us, and I still managed to get some medium to close-up shots, which is actually an advantage for me. And in this shot, I only have one lens with me, which is the Sigma 18 to 50mm f2.8, which I'm using right now and which is amazing. So the 1.5 times crop is not really an issue for me. In fact, it's a helpful feature for me, and it's like I did not change systems at all. Now, my number 5 reason why you should buy this camera in 2023 is the ability to use a wide variety of lenses. One prime example is this Canon FD 28mm f2.8 lens, which was also my lens for my Lumix cameras, with of course the Canon FD2 Micro Four Thirds adapter, but this time around with the Canon FD2 Sony E-mount adapter. This is just an example of the lenses that you can use with this camera. And there are a lot to choose from, and the image quality that you get is comparable to the modern lenses like the Sigma 18 to 50mm f2.8 that I have right now. So for you to be able to adopt the Canon FD 28mm f2.8 lens, for example, is to get a Canon FD to Sony E-mount adapter like what I have here. This works very well, by the way, and it fits perfectly to my Sony FX30. There's no issue with the fit whatsoever. Once you have the correct adapter paired with the lens of your choice, then you are good to go. Alright, moving on now, and number 6 on my list is the ability to preview LUTs on the LCD monitor, which is huge for me. You know, way back, I wasn't a fan of filming in S-Log because the images look so washed out to me, so flat, and that time was gone. Yes, and thanks to the FX30 for including this feature, I just enabled it in the menu and I am all set. Please note though that it's for previewing purposes only when filming in S-Log 3 Cine EI and won't be embedded into the video file. You will still have the original S-Log 3 video file straight out of the camera, so just be informed. Filming in S-Log 3 is a game changer for me since I get more out of the camera, more dynamic range, and besides, it's really not that hard to color grade the images you get out of the FX30 with, of course, the help of LUTs. If I color grade from scratch, the result will be bad, and that is for sure. And that is why I'm a big fan of using LUTs. It really helps me get the job done the easy way and made the color grading process fun for me. Alright, now let's go to number 7 reason why you should buy the FX30 this year, and that is the dual base ISO of 800 and 2500. You know what? This is another game changer for me, and so glad that I found out about it and that I'm utilizing either one of them in my videos. I know I used another game changer word because it's so true. You know, when it's daytime and outdoors, I choose 800, and when it's nighttime or indoors with only available lighting, then it's the 2500 base ISO for me. No 1250 or even 1600 ISOs, which I normally use on my GH5 and my GH6. On the FX30, it's 2500 straight away, as you can see in this example. Although there are still plenty of available lights in this shot, still, you get the idea that the images are cleaner, most especially when using 4K 24p and 60p. Before, I wasn't sure if the dual base ISO will work or not, but I would say that they both work in terms of my testing. So, dual base ISO is a win for me, and I use both every single time I use my FX30. Alright, next, and number 8 is the version 2 update. The FX30 now has more features than ever, and with the addition of the true 24p recording as well as the DCI 4K, plus an anamorphic setting to see the unsqueezed image from your anamorphic lens. Although I haven't tried this feature yet since I don't have any anamorphic lens here. Also, with the addition of the Creators app, you can use your phone to sync it via Wi-Fi to use it as a monitor. Take note, use it as a monitor for free. And if you haven't updated yet, I recommend it. Just follow the step-by-step process that I did since the update gets confusing. You can check out my tutorial video on how to update the FX30, and the link is right here. And now number 9 on my list of reasons why you should buy this camera in 2023 is the variable shutter. You know, I have been saying this way back that one of the drawbacks of this camera is the lack of shutter angle. I know it's a bummer, but is it really a big deal? You know, before, yes, it's a big deal for me, but now it's just a tiny bit. Why? It's because we have another option to consider. As you can see now in my setting, I am now using 48 shutter, whereas before before when filming in 24p, the only choice that I have to achieve a cinema-like or movie-like motion blur is 50th of a second. You know, thanks to variable shutter, that is no longer the case. Although maybe there isn't a big difference at all, still for me, I welcome this since this is my first camera to do that. And select 48 shutter speed for a 23.98p frame rate, which is amazing for me. You know, gone are the days of choosing 50th of a second, huh? The same goes with the 60p and 120 fps since they now have proper shutter speeds to match the said frame rates, which is a welcome feature for me. Alright, and finally, our number 10 reason is the price. It is now priced at $1,798 as of this recording, which was $1,799 originally, and that's from the BH Photo website. You know, this camera, in my observation, is in demand. I would say since after about 9 months from the announcement date, it's still the same price compared to the GH6, and the price has been fluctuating. So that's really saying something that the FX30 is an amazing camera, and that a lot of users or enthusiasts are getting this camera for the price alone. You know, you get more out of this beast in terms of features, including the amazing autofocus, in-body image stabilization, S-Log3, Cine EI, and I could go on and on. There's a lot. Yes, I understand that the GH6 has more video features, but with what I do, I don't use any of those other features anyway. You know, I did a video comparison between the two, and if you would like to see my other reasons why I chose this camera, you can click the link right here to check it out. Alright, overall, if you want to start filming short films, short documentaries, as well as weddings, or just use this camera as an all-around camera with great to amazing features that is worth every penny, then the Sony FX30 is definitely the one to get this year. Alright, so for you, do you have any other reasons to add to my list? Or do you agree to my 10 reasons why you should buy the FX30 in 2023? Let me know in the comment section below and let's discuss. Alright, that's about it for this video and I hope it's helpful. This is Bernie. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, goodbye for now.